What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to tell you guys why I think the BMW F30 is one of the best BMWs you can buy today for the money. So of course, we're going to be using my BMW F30 as an example. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, this is a 2017 BMW 330i. That does mean it has B46. And overall, guys, this is a pretty nicely spec'd F30. As you guys can see, it is black sapphire metallic. Disregarding the fact that it's super dirty, it also has coral red interior. Not only that, but I also did mod the car to a decent amount. Like I said, guys, I converted it to an M Sport, and I also retrofitted some nice BMW OEM stuff that didn't come with this car particularly, but you could get with any F30. So with that said, guys, we're gonna get started. There's a few things I want to cover, like engine, interior, exterior, again, all proving why the BMW F30 is one of the best BMWs you can buy for the money in today's market. So we have a few things to cover, but what I'm gonna do first, guys, since it is a cold day, we're gonna do everything that covers the exterior, including the engine, because we still have to be on the outside of the car, and then we'll get into the interior, which I think is one of the best categories. So definitely stick around to the end of the video, guys. But for now, let's just get started on the engine options. So again, like I said, guys, this is a 330i, so it has the B46, and it is definitely a great engine to get if you guys like a turbo 4-cylinder. However, this isn't the only one you can get with these cars, and if a turbo 4-cylinder like this one is not your thing, honestly, I can't blame you, but you also have two 6-cylinder options. Now, if you guys don't know already, you can get a 335i, which has the N55. You can also get a 340, which has the B58. However, guys, the point of this video is not to compare the B58 and the N55. Regardless, you have options for both. I will say, objectively, the B58 is better, although it doesn't sound as good. It definitely is more reliable and it can push more power. However, guys, it is also more expensive. But regardless, the point is to say that these F30s have a whole bunch of engine options that you can get with them. So you have the B46, the N20, the N55, and the B58, all great options. So you really can't go wrong with any of those. And honestly, it really comes down to your budget. Like, if your budget is high, get a 340, get the B58, objectively the best engine that you can get in this car. And if your budget isn't as high, maybe get an N20 or something like that. All right, guys, so now with that out of the way, we're gonna go into the next category, and that is just the exterior appearance of the F30. So one of the biggest things with these cars that I absolutely love is these things feel like a blank canvas. So a lot of modern BMWs tend to be a little more curvy, tend to be a little more like bubbly in a way. This BMW, however, still retains like its boxy type look. That's really important because a more boxy car just tends to be a better car to mod and add things to. So from the front, guys, it looks really good, and also from the rear. But overall, guys, I know this is more of like a subjective thing, but I think the F30 just looks really good, and it looks even better modded. Now, yes, I know that's the case with a lot of older BMWs as well, which you can probably get for even less, like an E90 or something like that. However, guys, since this car is still pretty new, there's a lot of things that you get with it, especially in the interior, which we'll get into a little later, but still it retains its whole like boxy blank canvas form, which I personally love about BMWs. They're just fun cars to mod. They also look good just right off the bat too. You don't even have to mod them. But if you guys are into modding your cars, it makes it even better. The new BMWs look really good right out of the factory. However, since they're kind of like more curvy and, you know, bubbly, I personally don't think they look as good modded. Now, I have seen some like M340s modded and stuff like that, but I've never seen one modded to the extent of like an F30, and I've never seen one look as good as a modded F30. Again, guys, that's more subjective, but I feel like a lot of people will agree with me on this. And speaking of mods, guys, the F30 has a whole bunch of aftermarket support from a whole bunch of great companies in terms of aesthetics, like carbon fiber bits and all that type of stuff, and also in terms of performance. No matter what engine that you get, you have a whole bunch of options to mod them, and the community around these cars is absolutely massive, guys, which if you know about modding cars and stuff like that, being able to go into the forums and find people who had the same issues as you, or even just people making YouTube videos about these cars, is a huge deal. And that's not only about modding your car. Yes, obviously being able to jump on YouTube and seeing what a front lip looks like, because so many people have these cars and so many people like me make videos about them. But there's more to it than that. Let's say you have an issue with the car. Let's say you're trying to find like how to change the oil or something like that. You can find a whole bunch of videos, a whole bunch of forums showing you guys how to do it, and that is massive, especially if you work on your own car. Like, if you have a car that just not a lot of people have, you're not really gonna find that much online support about them. Obviously, your car is going to be a little more unique, which is, you know, a bright side. If you have an F30, I'll tell you this, guys, you're definitely not going to be unique. You're gonna be one of many, but I mean, hey, you can definitely personalize them to be your own. So while we're actually on the topic of the F30, I want to just take a quick minute to remind you guys I have a merch store. A link is down in the description below. I have a whole bunch of cool shirts like this one right over here, which has this very F30 on it. So go check out the link down in the description below, guys. Get yourself a cool shirt. It'll really help me out and help support the channel. But yeah, with that said, guys, let's just keep on going. So with that said, guys, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the exterior of the car. We went over the engine, we went over the looks of it, and we also went over like the modding capabilities of it. So with that said, we're gonna get to, in my opinion, the best piece about it, and that's gonna be the interior, which is really nice because I'll be honest with you guys, it's getting a little cold. All right, so now as I hide inside the nice warmth of my car, we're gonna go through some of the nice things about this thing and one of the biggest things about it, and that's the interior and how modern this car is. Now, like I said before, guys, you can get like an E90, maybe even like an E46, an E36, and those cars also have a lot of aftermarket support for, and they also feel like a blank canvas, something nice to mod. However, if you drive your car on a daily basis, and if you appreciate some like more modern amenities, an F30 is great because it has a lot of modern things that those previous cars, they just don't have. So I'll just say right off the bat, guys, the interiors of the F30 look really, really good. They're not the most modern interiors, especially if you see like a G20 or just like modern cars in general. However, it still is pretty modern. Now, again, guys, you're not gonna get everything out of an F30 just right off the bat. I, for example, have this nice digital cluster, which I actually had to retrofit in the car. However, it looks absolutely beautiful, and just driving this car, you really feel like you're driving a newer car. Now, this isn't the oldest car in the world. It's a 2017, so it's still pretty new. However, it feels even newer having this digital cluster. I also don't have any gas, but that's besides the point. And then not only that, guys, you have like this nice head unit right over here, which if your car doesn't come with either of these, so like the digital cluster or this bigger head unit, you can upgrade them and you can retrofit them, which is really nice. My car luckily came with the big head unit. It did not come with the digital cluster. Not many F30s come with the digital cluster, but again, guys, you can get them used. You guys can get them from somewhere and add these to your car, and they are OEM BMW. I know you can get like a digital cluster on an E46 now, but it's still aftermarket. It feels aftermarket. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but having something that literally feels like it just was made with this car, you know, it's the best way to go, especially in the interior. And something else that's really, really nice in these cars that only F30s have, like the E90s did not have, is Apple CarPlay. If your car did not come with Apple CarPlay, you can still add it in. However, you can get F30s just right off the bat with Apple CarPlay like I did. The only thing that I did was code it to be full screen instead. It's just such a nice amenity, honestly, like being able to play your music, being able to put like Google Maps right on your head unit, like that's clutch. So honestly, guys, just being in this interior with a relatively modern design, and then also having this digital cluster, having full screen Apple CarPlay, usually with my maps up there, you just kind of feel like you're driving a newer car. Again, this car isn't that old yet. However, I think it's going to stand the test of time because personally, these are the only like modern features that I really, really care for. There's still some stuff that these cars don't have. However, in terms of things that you really need, mainly the Apple CarPlay, I think this is it. So yeah, guys, in summary, the BMW F30 is modern enough to have all those features that you would like to have on a daily driver car, or even just a car that you drive a good amount, but it's also old enough to, one, be cheap, two, to have a good amount of aftermarket support for, and still retain that like square body BMW design and just still look good overall. So if you guys are debating getting a BMW, I would highly recommend getting into an F30. Again, there's so many different options that you can get into, like a 330, a 340, 335, or even a 328, all ranging in price, but for the most part, guys, you can get one on any budget. But yeah, hopefully you guys agree with my list. If you have anything else to add, drop it down in the comments below. And yeah, with that said, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.